Hi, Emma.
Hello, Sam.
So, we're going to have a little podcast episode, just the two of us, because Phil is in Carlisle
I know.
at some kind of, I don't know, fancy dinner or something.
Oh,
And we've just wrapped up with a little episode interviewing his children, Noah and Rosie,
so sweet.
which was really fun. It's just a little tiny micro episode. But what I want to talk about, and that's why I wanted you on this episode, is we've just wrapped up, or about a week ago, our summer retreat
Yes.
with our masterminders. And it was a bit of a special one because we had it in my house,
Yes.
which made it sort of more intimate and friendly and fun.
Yes.
A little bit anxiety inducing for me, having all those people in my house. But
Yes. And I felt that as well.
I coped very well
You
with it, I
did.
thought. Thank you. So what I was going to talk about was what were the topics that came up. So I've got a list of things that I was asked. Maybe you can remember as well some of the main topics.
Yes.
But the ones that I can remember more than anything else were, we talked about beyond agency.
Yes.
We talked about lead generation, unbelievably.
We all love a bit of lead gen.
Yeah. Creative accounting, strategic valuing, and recruitment and structure. Those are the
Yes.
main set of topics that came up. So also AI, people wanting to know about AI. So let's just take those. We're just going to do just a few minutes on each one of those. And you can tell me what you're hearing from the clients and what their biggest set of challenges are. Because
Yes.
obviously some of those are very early stages challenges and some of those are very late stages challenges.
Yes.
So first of all, just introduce yourself to the audience in case they don't know who you are and what you do here at Mastermind.
So I am Emma. I am the client executive here at AJ Mastermind. So all of our lovely, lovely members are hopefully, I hope they agree, looked after by me. So any challenges that they're facing, any resources they need, any team training, I will do that for them.
And it's fair to say that after, you've been here for 3 years, I think now, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you know the blueprint really, really well.
Yeah.
And so whatever part of it they're struggling at, be it, you know, like we say, early stages, which can be something like mindset, productivity, time management, prioritization, and then the very early sort of lead gen tactics,
Yes.
then you're really good at all those things. And then when they start to recruit a team, you actually do some on-hand recruitment, don't you, from some of our private members?
I'm doing it today.
And what does that look like? Just tell us briefly. How do you get involved?
So I'm involved from the minute they want to recruit. So I'll do their Indeed adverts, I'll filter through their candidates, I'll invite them to the interviews. I will provide our members with the structure for the interview, and then they'll just get to choose one of the people that I sent along. So I don't think they actually really know who's coming, and nor do I. Well, I do.
But you're not even there in person, are you?
No.
But they have to do that, and then you coach them through that process.
Yes. And
And then they send them for Send Your Team days here.
yeah, and I'll sometimes do their onboarding for them via Zoom too.
And then ongoing training.
Yes.
Crazy. Okay. And then all the way through, after sort of recruitment becomes a bit of a bottleneck, then it's about systems and processes.
Yes.
It's about getting themselves out of the agency more, so the agency starts running without them. So it's having really good lead gen processes, really, really good recruitment and retention processes, and really good delivery processes as well.
Yes.
And of course, financial control. And that goes all the way through to the end where, well, I say the end, sort of the top of the ladder, if you like, where Phil and I start coaching much more on sort of strategy, leadership, exit planning,
Yes.
those kind of things. So I think we do a good job between us of looking after our members, but it's very indicative when we do a mastermind of where people are in their journey. We had a brand new lady just join.
We did.
And
Yes.
so she wanted to talk about lead gen, of course.
Yep.
And then we have people who are considering exit. So they're at the other end of the scale. So I'll tell you what we covered very briefly, and then you can chip in and remind me of anything else that came up. So the first one, I'll go back to AI, actually. That was probably the first one. And I've been playing quite a lot with Perplexity versus ChatGPT. And when I first started doing this, which was a good 6 or 9 months ago, Perplexity was a winner for me. I found it a better tone of voice. I found that if I wanted to write something like an email or a blog post or something, to get the first draft, Perplexity was much better than ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But now it's exactly the opposite. Now we've got ChatGPT 4, and I think it's 4 Turbo, I think it is. It is exponentially better. It's amazing. And you can have whole conversations with ChatGPT, and it suggests and coaches. I absolutely love it. And so we're using it much more in the agency and in Mastermind, aren't we?
Absolutely. Yes. I probably don't use it as much because I'm doing a lot of client communications. I don't want to use ChatGPT for that. But should you ask me to create a resource document, or I'm trying to think of the word.
A template.
A template, task sheet.
Yeah, task sheet, yeah.
I'll put everything in my head into ChatGPT and ask it to structure.
Yeah, that's really good. I think it's a good starting point, isn't it? I think at the moment for me, ChatGPT is only the first draft. It's
Yes.
not usually final draft, particularly if we're talking about any creative writing. But it makes a good start, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And for me, definitely with the structuring and maybe bulking out certain phrases or words or paragraphs. I think I've got keynotes.
Yeah.
Please turn this into a sentence.
Which I think is a really good way of using it. And it's a big time save, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was asked by I can't remember what they're called now. It's like a family divorce lawyer, but it was whatever the company's called that does that. And they were asking us to do a joint valuation or something. I'm sure that anybody listening to this will know the actual term. That had to be compliant under a certain section of the family law, or I don't know, some rubbish. Anyway, so they asked me for a CV. I mean, God, I've not been asked for a CV since I was 25. So I don't have a CV. I've got a LinkedIn. But what I did was I asked ChatGPT to look at my LinkedIn and then create this document for me. I told it why I wanted the document, and then it started hallucinating, which is, if you don't know what AI is and does when it makes things up, and it started saying I was RICS qualified and all this kind of stuff, which obviously is not true. So I had to ask it to go back and rewrite. So I did not use my first draft, but that was really useful because it would have taken me, I don't know, half an hour to put a CV together. It took me 5 minutes with ChatGPT. So that was a good...
It does all the layout for you, and I find it really useful in that respect.
Yeah, I didn't have to think about it. So I found this framework I really liked from a book I've been reading that I think is called The AI Leader, which I'll link to in the show notes. And he says in his framework, it needs to have 4 elements, which is context, role, interview, and task. And I thought this was a really interesting angle on it, because I've got one that's like 7 elements long, but this is much simpler, much more succinct, and it's just a really good way of thinking about how are you going to use AI. So first of all, give it the context that it needs. So for my CV question, I would have put the email from the person that sent me the email asking me for this valuation and the information. I would have put that into ChatGPT first. So there you go, it's got context. Then I'm going to assign it a role. So I'd say assign yourself a role as probably an executive assistant. So you're going to write professionally and in a voice. And then I'm going to interview it. So I might say, ask me 3 questions that will help you clarify what I'm asking you to do and produce a better result. And it's the interview bit that most people don't do, where you go back and ask ChatGPT to come up with questions.
Yes.
And then the last one was the task itself. So what do you want it to actually do? But the interview bit, I think, is missing from most people's questioning of ChatGPT.
What I find interesting is if you ask ChatGPT a set of 3 questions 5 times, you'll most likely get the same answer each time.
Do you?
So when I do recruitment for our members, they like to ask potential candidates questions.
Yeah.
One of them is, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Everybody says teleportation.
Right.
Everybody, for the same reason that they can skip traffic and get to their viewings. Okay. So I thought, okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT and Perplexity the same question.
Oh.
Got the same answer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, okay. Well, that's why then, isn't it? That's why they're all getting the same flipping answer. It was funny, though, because recently in one of your recruitment drives for one of our clients, tell them what happened.
Gosh, so they got asked the 3 questions, and I think the first one is, why do you think you are a good fit for this role? What do you do to improve your self-development in your own time? If you had a superpower, what would it be, and what attracted you most to this role?
That's 4 questions.
That's 4 questions, isn't it? So 3 questions. And somebody clearly asked ChatGPT, because they copied and pasted the whole page into their answer, including the prompt, including them asking AI to rewrite the answer to question 3. Like really short and snappy. Try this again. And then it said like 9:06 ChatGPT answered.
Oh no, that's really lazy.
If you're going
isn't
to
it?
do a job application on ChatGPT, remove your prompt and remove the footings.
That's so funny. The next thing we discussed was beyond agency. And I think Phil and I discussed this in a recent podcast where, and I'm not talking about beyond exit, that's different. I'm talking about beyond the agency revenue you have. And what we did was we took a bit of a straw poll around the table and said, right, what other revenue streams do you have other than lettings, which we consider to be a completely different type of business, but in your sales business, what other revenue streams do you have? And we came up with a long list. So it was things like charging for AML.
Yes.
It was things like charging a kickback for things like EPCs and for surveyor referrals. And it totaled about £1,000 per listing, which is amazing.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean,
we've got 90 homes on the market
Yeah.
at the moment. So that's £90,000 we could have taken in addition to.
money.
I know.
Floor
And-
plans? Was floor plans?
I don't know if floor plans was on there because that's a professional service that we'd have to recommend, whereas we include floor plans. But there was quite a few other things, like obviously solicitors and finance. Because actually we've just put in for finance, Phil and I, on one of our properties that is in our portfolio. We're refinancing. And the mortgage is only about 100 and something, 120 or something. And the finance guy that we use, it discloses his commission, and it was something like £3,700 on that mortgage. And I don't begrudge him it at all, but if we're going to be using it in a professional capacity and not a domestic capacity, it's not our house, then we need a cut of that if we are, referring him forward. And we also need a cut of it for our own use.
Yes.
So if you do have a really good finance guy out there, or girl, of course, then we'd really love to hear from you, because we do want to have a really strong relationship with somebody who is prepared to enter into that professional agreement. And maybe you can suggest as well, if you're listening to this and you already have those kind of agreements in place, what you charge, because I think about 20% is fair, but maybe finance guys would not agree. So that was beyond agency. And then we talked about lead generation, which I'm not going to cover in any detail, but suffice to say, it was back to basics. It's letters, it's door knocks, it's novelty deliveries. It's all the things they already know about.
And the timings, when to do it, when something kicks in after you've tried 2 other methods. And But it is amazing, isn't it, when we cover that, how many people go, actually, I know I've been in Mastermind 4 years, but can you just repeat that?
Claire Roberts, are you listening to this? So Claire has been in Mastermind and in the other services that we've had, including coaching, for a long time. I mean, I don't know, Claire, is it 8 years or so, maybe 10? It's a really long time. And by the way, shout out to, actually, can we even say, is it still confidential? Claire's daughter's boyfriend has just been signed for Carlisle.
Claire's employee's boyfriend, Lola.
Claire's employees, but yeah, not daughter's boyfriend, employee's boyfriend, that's right.
I mean, I don't think she told me, so I don't think it's a secret.
Yeah, if you're not listening to this bit, it's because we took it out.
Claire, if you don't want me to repeat things, say, I'm only telling you. Don't tell anyone else.
It's exciting, and Phil was very excited about it, because if you don't know, he's a massive Carlisle fan.
Yeah, Phil might meet him soon.
You might do. And we liked Lola as well, didn't we?
We
liked
really
Lola a
liked
lot.
Lola.
She's great.
Yes.
A lot on her little 19-year-old shoulders. She does a great job for Claire. Claire needs to recruit. So going back to lead gen, Claire actually admitted in a recent Mastermind, could have even been that one, that she had a gap in her diary for vals because she'd had a gap in her diary for send-outs and hadn't been sending out letters. I think she stopped sending them out for 2 months while she caught up. And then, of course, she came back to an empty diary. So
I think Claire, as well, was not the only person in the room that was guilty of that.
no, definitely not. Some people have never sent a letter. And I heard from a recent addition to Cosmo. I won't always say her name, but she said to me that she had, actually I will say her name because I can just say her first name, Rebecca. So Rebecca has just recently joined Cosmo. She joined about 6 weeks ago. Just got around to sending her first batch of letters. She could only afford to send 50. It's expensive, isn't it? Send out letters by post.
You've got your envelopes, your stamps.
And immediately got a
Anytime.
valuation for a £400,000 house.
See, there's your money back in stamps and then some.
God. So happy for her. So that's brilliant. And she's coming to an event, actually, we're running. If you go to ajmastermind.co.uk/events, you'll be able to see when the next one is and invite yourself on that.
Yes.
The next one was creative accounting. And full disclaimer, I am not any kind of tax expert whatsoever, but there were so many things in the room that people were not claiming for. And what I suggested, and I don't think this is a grey area, I think this is perfectly legitimate, is wherever you go and whatever you do, take with you your business bank card, and that should be your default bank card for any purchases whatsoever, because you can always sort them out afterwards. What you won't do is you won't go through your personal purchases and apply them to your business. So it's much easier to do that the other way around. If you know 100% that there's no way you can claim that item, then yes, use your personal card. But if there's any doubt whatsoever, use your business card and then figure it out afterwards. So you might not know that things like if you're away for the day, like you're maybe you're on viewings or valuations away from the office, and I don't think there's a time, there's a radius, it's something like half an hour away from the office or something like that, then you can claim any food that you eat, because then you're not, it's called subsistence, you're allowed to claim food away from the office. That's something you're probably not claiming at the moment. You pop into a garage, you get yourself a kind of Coke and a sandwich. You need to put that through the business if you're away from your desk for the day. Things like if you give a gift to a client, you can't claim that unless the gift is branded. So get yourself some stickers saying the name of your agency and stick that on the gift, and then it becomes a branded gift, and then you can claim it back.
I'll take an AJ Mastermind bottle of champagne.
Exactly. That's a great idea. Just a little sticker. So that was creative accounting, helping you keep more of the money that you earn. And Michael Mortimer took us through a great session, absolutely genius, that he'd been through with his accountant, where they looked at 3 different scenarios for how he would extract his pay, whether it was full salary and no divs, full divs and no salary, or 50-50. So if anybody wants to know the upshot of that, then message me or drop me an email, sam@ajmastermind.co.uk, and I'll take you through the figures, because it was very enlightening. And then the last one was strategic valuing, which was all about valuing to get the listing, not necessarily valuing to sell the property. When you've got a load of houses on the market that you can't shift, then you are allowed to, if you want, start to value more realistically, let's call it. If you've got no house on the market, you've got to get those sale boards up and then the sold boards up. Because boards breed boards, as you know. You need to get that marketing momentum. If you were to drive through the Lake District right now, you'd see our boards everywhere. We have got market share.
We certainly do.
And therefore, if you
in
don't...
all the right places.
Of course, and for all the right homes. And only about 6% of our boards have actually... houses have got boards, so there's 40% that you can't even see. But we do look like we're everywhere at the moment. And that's because Phil and Tom have been a listing machine together for the last year and a half. And they are still strategically valuing. And when you value a unique home, even if you don't think it could get the price that you know that they want, you could be wrong. Because we've got a couple of homes on the market that I wonder how we ever arrived at those prices, but we're getting interest in them.
Yes.
And you just need one buyer at that price. And if it's a unique home, you could sell it. But don't let somebody else put the board up outside one of your listings and then claim that price reduction or sale or whatever happens next. Make sure that's you. And again, strategic valuing is a whole art in itself. And I'm sure Phil would love to jump on the phone with any of you and just explain to you exactly what that means and could mean for your company. So if you want to shoot him an email at phil@ashdownjones.co.uk, or if he doesn't answer, message me and I'll get him to answer, and then we'll get you on a call with him. Just 20 minutes just for him to take you through strategic valuing framework and to understand where he's coming from. I think will be super useful to some of you listening to this. And then the resources themselves, so after we've done the mastermind, what do you do, Emma?
So I compile everything, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there is a book that I have missed, but everything that we have discussed, whether it be a book, a podcast, a provider of some service, is all goes
or
together.
One of our trainings.
Yeah. Our slides, I put them all together and they all go out to all of our members so they can access them forever.
That's right. And then they all go on the swipe file, which anybody can also access forever once they remember. We also put the next dates in for the autumn mastermind. So if you are on the fence about joining mastermind, or you'd like to have a chat about how it could be a good fit for your agency, it's not a good fit for everybody. But I'd love to have a chat with you because the next mastermind is on the 10th and 11th of September, which is coming around pretty fast. And it's a 2-day mastermind here in the Lakes. And these masterminds are extraordinary. They are intense, they are business changing and often life changing. Your business will be fitter and leaner when you leave, and you could be too, because even though we give you amazing food, so many of our mastermind members have actually lost weight and got fit while they've been with us.
And it's not through any direct teaching. They just come and leave, I think, so focused and driven in their business that spills into their lifestyle and their home life, which is great.
I think they leave with motivation, don't they? Whereas before, maybe some of them felt a little bit flat or a bit unsure about which way to go. I think if you're confused in your business or you feel that your business is overwhelming you, it's really hard to look forward and rise above it and take a hold of your health, your wellness, your fitness, your eating, your sleep, everything. It all kind of goes together. And without all those things to form a platform for your life, you can't really run with your business like you could do. It's very, very rare that we meet a successful business person who is overweight or unfit or both.
Oh, absolutely. If you're stuck in a rut in business, you tend to be stuck in a rut in life.
That's very good insight.
Same routines.
Very good insight. So
we'll shuffle up your routine.
We'll give you a bit of a kick up your backside. So we recommended 3 books and podcasts on this, which was Andy Crestodina, Content Chemistry. I don't remember actually saying that was a good one, but I know why. No, I said go to his LinkedIn. His Andy Crestodina on LinkedIn is amazing. So all his, and he runs Orbit Media from the States, all his researched blog posts and articles and white papers on things like AI, SEO, all that kind of stuff is incredible. So definitely go there. But Content Chemistry, the book, is probably a little bit outdated now, I think. And it's hefty. It's like War and Peace. Yeah, I've got it on my shelves at home. This one, which is one of my favourite ever books, and it's got a very unlikely title, Herman Simon, Confessions of the Pricing Man. I think he's Dutch, and he's a worldwide pricing expert. So he looks at pricing strategy and price psychology and price elasticity, all the things that are fascinating to us as business owners about exactly how somebody chooses an agent based on valuation, based on fee. And there's so many insights in there that you could take and use in your own business. He has advised major companies and organizations all over the world on their pricing, and his stories are fascinating. I really like listening to it. It's on my Audible as well as on my shelf, so I definitely would recommend that one. And the other one was the Ignite podcast episode about Legend, which is probably pretty old now.
I think it was one of the first,
so we'll link to that as well in the show notes. And then somebody mentioned the Mortgage Mum.
Yes, that was Suzette.
I think she's got a team of mortgage advisors.
Was it part of Beyond Agents? I think it was part of the Beyond Agency.
It probably was, yeah.
Session.
And then we did a whole session on recruitment, team culture, and you took full notes and turned into a resource.
Which is what I was working on, I think, when the Mortgage Mum came up, and I was like, Mortgage Mum. Okay, got
What's
it.
this about? And that was really good as well. We talked about scoring your current team members, talk about how you can get people to stay in the swim lanes, how to have a challenging conversation, how to bring the best from your team members, and how to speak concierge to a concierge, hustle to a hustler, and rock to a rock.
Yes. And I thought the scoring was really interesting because I'm sure a lot of agents out there go, oh, yeah, no, I've got so-and-so she works for me, she's great. And then you dive into what makes her great, and you actually realise, you know what, she's not great, she's amazing. And she's the right fit, and she's got the right
Or she's terrible.
Yeah. Or the opposite, and you think, yeah, she's all right. And you're like, oh, really, what's her attitude out of 5? 2.
Exactly. So we got everybody to rate out of 5. You could also do red, amber, green, or you could do out of 10, whatever you decide to do. And it was across 5 different elements of a team member. So it was, are they motivated?
Yes.
Are they resourced?
So resourced actually may come down a lot of the time to you as the employer. So are you providing them with everything they need to go and do their job at a 10 out of 10? Mm-hmm. So if they're expected to make phone calls and send WhatsApps and text messages, have they got a phone? Mm-hmm. Are they able to do that? Does their laptop work? Are you providing them with all the tools that they need to do their job at the best level?
And it might just be a bit of flexibility with childcare arrangements.
Yes.
Or it might be understanding when they've got to take a morning off to go and see a nativity play. And just really facilitating as much as you possibly can to make sure they've got maximum capacity and that they're good to go all the time because they've got everything that they need. Even a desk. I mean, I've been in agencies where people have back-to-back desks and no space to talk or work. They've got no private space to go to, so they can't go and eat anywhere. And they're not allowed to eat in the office, so where do they go? It's those kind of things. That's what I mean by resource.
The answer is not an alleyway outside.
No, it definitely isn't. And then we've got S for skills. So are they skilled enough to do the job that you're asking them to do? Do they have the necessary skills, or do they need upskilling through training? Do they have the knowledge that they need, which comes down to understanding what it takes to do their role? So do they have experience? That's what it usually comes down to. So they've had those difficult conversations many times and they've got the knowledge and the skills to be able to deal with them. And the F is, do they fit the team? Are they part of the culture, or do they stand out like a sore thumb and nobody likes them and want to spend time with them? So that's what we covered in recruitment. So we covered a lot in those 2 days. We always do, don't we?
We do. They are really good jam-packed days.
Mm-hmm. And I think that even if somebody comes with their own question, everybody else's questions are usually more interesting to them, or they've changed the question by the end of the second day.
Yes.
Really interesting. Okay, so if you'd like to have a chat about any of these topics at all and see what resources we've got available, you can either reach out to Emma at emma@ajmastermind.co.uk if you're shy, or reach directly out to me. And if I can share any of the resources we've got, of course I will do. But if one of those topics just strikes a chord with you, and I'll just quickly run over them again, it was AI, beyond agency, so secondary and additional revenue streams, lead generation basics, creative accounting, strategic valuing, and then recruitment strategy and retention. So those are the topics of the last Mastermind. Who knows what we're going to be talking about on the next Mastermind?
We will see.
Thanks, Emma.
Bye.